Welcome to this brand new podcast, the Grow Daily Podcast. I will be your host. My name is Piyush Agarwal, and I will be recording every day new podcasts for you to help you grow in whatever you want to do in your life. Some of the tips will be helpful for your relationships, some of the tips will be helpful for your lives, some of them will be just mere observations of what I'll be doing and what I'm experimenting with. But most importantly, the idea behind this podcast is to be able to share my learnings, my observations, and my thoughts, my ideas that will help you grow every day. So, why grow every day? If that's a question that pops in your mind, my thought process or my kind of motivation behind uh, growth is that growth is not something that can be achieved in a very short span of time. It's also not something that can be done by just a few magic tricks or a few viral videos here and there. It's something that takes a constant focus and a constant effort. And in order to achieve a certain amount of growth, which is stable, which you can sustain over time, you need to put in work almost every day. You may come across people who become rich overnight, right? Or who sell their companies for millions of dollars. But if you really break down as to how they reach that point, you will notice that they have been putting in work every day, and it's not something that happened overnight. The best example I can give you is that of a bamboo tree. So, when a farmer or when somebody grows bamboo, they have to tend to the seeds and they have to tend to the land and they have to keep watering the plant for year after year. So, first year, second year, third year, fourth year, they would not notice anything. And suddenly in the fifth year, the whole bamboo tree would pop up and you would have these bamboo trees all across the place, and they will be massive. They'll be at a height that you would have wanted. Now, one way of looking at it is that the bamboo tree came up in just a few days. Or the other way of looking at it is that the bamboo tree actually grew because of the work that was put in the 4 years, in the first 4 years, when the farmer did not lose hope, when the work did not stop. There was gradual work that kept happening only to be able to reach that stagnant, that amazing place, which now people can be envious of. So somehow success is always something that people run after. But trust me, when it comes to growth, you shouldn't be thinking of success. You should be thinking of how you can just not stop growing, right? And that's what this podcast is going to be about. Now, to be very honest, this podcast is also something that I'm selfishly creating to bring some discipline in my own life. I believe that since the time that I have started, I took off work and I started working on my own on different projects. I have had multiple ideas and I have worked on multiple projects, but somehow I've not really spent enough time in growing and focusing on a particular one. Hopefully, with the help of this podcast, because I have to share something new every day, because I have to put in the work to be able to talk to all of you, there'll be a focused growth happening. And hopefully, we'll see this podcast grow as well. So that's what this podcast is about. A little bit about myself. So I'm from India, and I have had a decade of career spanning across sales, software engineering, and even product management. I've also started a few side gigs, side hustles that have made me a decent amount of money. Over the past year, since I quit my job, I have been working as a growth consultant with a few startups. And that's what has helped me see how growth is undertaken by different companies, how it's approached, and how what makes a company become successful and grow at a steady pace versus a company that just wants to make it big in a single day, right? So I've been there and seen people do the right things and experiment and fail several times, but keep going. And hopefully, this podcast will help me share all of that with you guys. Also, I have been running a couple of side hustles for quite a long time now, which includes a passive income blog, which includes an entertainment startup, which is like a theater focused startup. And they have been growing steadily while to a layman, it may look that, that these startups have grown and they have become something in no time. It's actually taken about 8 to 9 years of toiling, hard work, and uh, a completely unselfish attitude towards it to reach where it goes. Could it have grown faster to where it is today? I think yes, that's possible. But at the same time, whether that growth could have been sustained becomes the question, right? So, coming back to the main theme of today's podcast, and what we're going to talk about is, why do you need to grow daily? Yeah. Now, when I say you need to grow daily, it is very easy for somebody to assume that, okay, that means that you will be gaining more subscribers every day, if that's the kind of measure or that's the kind of metric that you're following, or you will be making more money than what you made yesterday, or like there's some or the other way that you will see that you're growing every day. Well, not exactly. The Grow Everyday Funda is not about seeing substantial differences and making substantial differences in where you stand today from yesterday, but actually making sure that you're taking the right steps every day that will help you grow. Grow in the long run, grow in the short term, and grow, in a way that can be sustained. So while there will be things that you will end up doing, you end up doing every day, which may not really seem to be leading anywhere, but trust me, don't stop doing it. If you really believe that it's helping your business, is helping your project, it's helping your relationship, don't stop it. Most of the time, people let go something that they are doing way early on in the cycle, just because we are not satisfied with the kind of impact that it is making. While it's true that you shouldn't be doing something just for the sake of doing and hoping that it will create a miracle someday, it should be calculated. Whatever you're doing should you should really believe that it is leading you somewhere, and only then you should be putting in the effort. But at the same time, you shouldn't be looking for quick results. You shouldn't be looking for quick wins. While quick wins are amazing and they do give you a boost in your ego and a boost in your confidence, most of the time they don't last, and that's why they're called quick, right? You get them quickly, but they may not be something that will last in your life, in your project. And after the sudden high, you will suddenly enter the phase where everything will be dark and slow and lonely. And you don't want to be completely disappointed in that phase. So what I would say is that, yeah, quick wins are great, and if you can identify some quick wins and get them early on, that will help you keep motivated. But take the right steps, take the right move, make the right moves that will help you get closer to your goals of growing whatever you are doing, right? And grow not just in terms of money. I mean, money is just a metric, which sort of helps us know that, yeah, we are if we are making more, if we are doing well, and if we are able to afford a better life in future. But money shouldn't be the only motivator or the measurable metric. In fact, money should be the least priority one from my perspective. What you should be looking at when you're talking about growth is being very selfish and seeing if you personally are growing every day as you are following a business, right? If you are making the same mistake day after day, you're not really growing. If you are exactly where you started a month back, and but you have been working every day from a personal front, you are not really growing. If you don't have the mental peace, if you're not in a zone where you can really feel positive about your day and feel positive about your day and doing, then most likely you're not growing. So growth is not just cannot be just measured in the terms of money. It has to be measured in terms of your mental state. It has to be measured in terms of the joy it's bringing into you to the people who are involved, to the people who it's reaching out to. And most importantly, growth has to be measured in a way that it impacts you. And finally, it has to be measured. I hope that's making sense. So, as I said, this podcast, the Grow Everyday podcast, we will be exploring different ways, different concepts, different things that will help us become more productive, grow in the different areas that we want to grow in. And hopefully, I can help you in that journey while I help myself grow as well at the same time. So if you like the podcast, if you like what we're going to talk about, give me a thumbs up. Do share it with people, and do drop a message on what are the growth challenges that you are facing. The best part, most of these podcast episodes will not be more than 10 to 15 minutes long. So you can listen to them anywhere you are at any time. And in just 10 to 15 minutes, hopefully, it will provide you with a ray of hope, with an idea that will help you to start your day with a boost and keep growing. On that note, I'll sign off with my first episode. Wish me luck, be here, and most importantly, keep sharing your feedback because I would like to know if this podcast is something that you are excited about as much as I am. This is Piyush Agarwal, and thank you for listening.